Welcome to Gifts in Strange Wrapping Paper, a podcast where we explore the transformative power of life's unexpected challenges. I'm your host, Kelly Getz, an intuitive educator and leadership coach. My journey into holistic practices began after our stillbirth of our second son in 2007, a profoundly devastating experience that I now lovingly refer to as a gift in strange wrapping paper. This pivotal moment revealed my life's purpose to teach and empower others to heal with grace, love, and gratitude, and to live their best lives now. Join me as we delve into the stories of resilience, healing, and personal growth, uncovering the hidden gifts within life's most challenging times. Hello, welcome to another podcast from Gifts in Strange Wrapping Paper. My name is Kelly, and today I wanted to ask you if you have ever gone into a situation or a relationship or an event or a party or whatever and had unrealistic expectations for what was going to happen on that particular evening, date, work event, whatever it was that you went. Just raise your hand if you've ever gone into a situation with unrealistic expectations. Well, I did. Just a few weeks ago, I decided I had been overworking and I wanted to break the pattern of overworking, overgiving, overdoing. And so my husband and I got to talking and we decided, seeing that my daughter's spring break was coming up and we weren't going anywhere as a family and many of her friends were going to the beaches, we thought it might be fun to see if we could do an inexpensive, and I do mean inexpensive, spring break to the south of some location. So it is now Tuesday night and spring break starts on Saturday. And I and my husband, we have this old timeshare that we haven't released. And we decided I would go in and I would look and just to see if anything was available, knowing it was probably a crapshoot. Well, as luck would have it, right before I was about to do my search and look for something drivable, like somewhere in Florida, at the last second, all of a sudden, I got this intuitive message to look in Hilton Head. So I typed in the words Hilton Head, and wouldn't you know it, there is a 3-bedroom condo on the island of Hilton Head in South Carolina, close to the beach, easy to bike around with, and easy to get to the beach, and it's 3 bedrooms, and it's drivable. So I booked it. I had 24 hours to decide, am I going to keep it or not keep it? I didn't even get a chance to see my daughter that night. So I wanted to wait to share the news when she got home from school on Wednesday, talk it through with my husband, maybe see if a friend of hers could go along. And who knows, if she had a friend, maybe I could bring my husband or maybe I would bring another friend. Of course, now it's Wednesday and we want to leave on Friday night. And so I text her and I said, hey, when you get home from school, I want to connect with you. I have something I want to talk to you about. What I didn't realize is that was going to trigger a reaction in my daughter and it was going to cause her to worry. She immediately thought she did something wrong. And now I have a new problem. She's calling me from school. She's worried. She's concerned. I can't worry or think about something else being a junior in high school where so many decisions are happening all at once. And she just wanted to know. So I say, hey, I found a beach house we can go to in Hilton Head Island. And, if you have a friend that's not already planning to go on vacation that you'd like to invite, we can take your friend as well. We're going to drive. The only caveat to that was it's going to be on my schedule, not on their schedule. Meaning if they have a party or a sporting event or any kind of event that they want to come home early for, that wasn't going to be happening. I wasn't going to drive cross country 13, 14 hours and then leave halfway through the trip to drive another 2 days coming back. I was going to get my full 7 or 8 days. All right, fine. We ask a friend, the friend can't go. Well, first the friend said she could go and then the friend couldn't go, which that brings in all sorts of fun, creative energy. And so finally I'm talking to my husband and I'm like, well, what should we do? And we decided Faith and I will have, my daughter and I will have a girls week. Just mom and her daughter, her teenage daughter, is going to go to the beach. Now, if you're a mom who's ever raised a teenage daughter, or if you're a grandmother that's ever raised a teenage daughter, you can probably see where this is going. I have the Gilmore Girls in mind, and I'm thinking, mother-daughter, we're going to have this great bonding trip. It's a great show, and they're so cute, and they have such good banter, and they're always sharing, they're always chit-chatting. And I'm thinking we're going to be like the Gilmore Girls. We're going to road trip to Hilton Head Island, and we are going to bond. We're going to have those belly gut laughs. And there is the first unrealistic expectation. Not too many teenage kids really want to hang out for the week with their parent. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking Gilmore Girls, we're going to bond. Now, I want you to think about yourself. Have you ever been in a situation where you too thought, hey, I am going to create this great party. I'm going to host this great event, or I'm going to get together on a fresh date, or I'm going to create a new job opportunity, or whatever. And you had this expectation, and it's probably not even something you clearly thought through. Maybe it was a hope or an idea, but somewhere along the line, it was an unrealistic expectation that now is in the center of the relationship, and you're not even aware that it's there. Well, that would have been me. In fact, we decide we're going to leave after school on Friday. I decide, well, wouldn't it be nice that we can stop at Purdue? We can see my son, meet his friend. All is going to be well. This will be exciting. Not really thinking how long packing can take two people with a husband trying to help shovel us out the door and one evening to pull it all together, not to mention appointments the next day. So you see where this is going. I don't leave at the time that I anticipated leaving. So now we are hitting traffic and we are late to Purdue and we are having one little obstacle after the other. And oh, by the way, there's no hotel that we can find on our journey for the first night stay. So that first travel day, not going so good. And we get a good night's sleep. We pick up the day the next day. And I say to my daughter, just wait for it. Because remember, I'm thinking Gilmore Girls. We are going to bond, mother and daughter. And I say to my daughter, you know what? Let's not be mother-daughter. Let's just be two girls on a trip, road tripping to Hilton Head Island. And let's just get to know one another as two women. You're a young lady. I'm a woman. Let's just get to know each other as if we were getting to know a friend for the first time. Wouldn't that be great? The only thing about that really didn't work was the fact that I was still planning everything. I was getting support with the driving. I still had to figure out the mapping. I was paying for everything. So although I wanted to be a couple buddies, like I was going on a trip with one of my girlfriends, I'm really in this lopsided place where I'm responsible for everything. And I'm still in that mother-daughter role with the illusion and the unrealistic expectation that I'm going to be like the Gilmore Girls. We're going to be two buddies. So as you can imagine, we get to Hilton Head Island and it's beautiful. The weather's beautiful. And it's also spring break. And again, we have a great night, the first night in town, stay at the beach the first night. We have to move into our 3-bedroom condo the next day. All is going great. We're having a bonding moment in the first restaurant that we go to. We're meeting people. It all seems like, a couple girls on vacation. And quickly things turned when all of a sudden I'm realizing we have two different schedules. She has a teen sleeping schedule and I have a get up early and go kind of get exercising so that I can get on with my day. There is no breakfast that we're making together. We're not really planning meals together because I don't even know what teenagers eat anymore, because I don't think my teenager ever seems to eat unless her and her friends are going to one of those fast food restaurants. And I quickly realized that my idea of a girls' trip and bonding and her idea of spring break are two completely different things. Although I'm still thinking it's going to be like the Gilmore Girls, we're going to bond. Ultimately, my daughter ends up meeting a whole bunch of terrific kids. I mean, it was great. These kids were from everywhere from Geneva, Illinois, Ohio. I can't even remember all the different states, but she met a terrific group of kids. In fact, I would have to venture to say it was like they were all congregating near the volleyball courts on one particular beach. And so every day, instead of bike riding the way I thought we would bike ride around the island, we were now driving to get to the area where all of the teens were congregating. And she's meeting friends, she's having a good time, and I'm feeling a bit lonely and I'm feeling a bit lost. Have you ever been there where you thought you had planned the perfect event, the perfect outing, the perfect party, and maybe you're finding yourself in a little bit of martyrdom where you're doing all the work and nobody seems to be appreciating it, or maybe everybody else around you is bonding and having a great time, only you're not really sitting and relaxing in that particular event. Have you ever been there where your expectations had been set so high and unrealistically that before you knew it, you're feeling like this tension inside your body and you're thinking, what have I done? Well, that was me in one of the most beautiful beaches you could have possibly imagined. And the tension and the pull of dealing with those unrealistic expectations that I wasn't fully aware of. I had decided I was going to break the pattern of overworking and I was going to move into this new pattern, only I didn't give myself any space or time to shift my energy from one situation to the other. I pretty much left from a depleted state, from an empty state, looking to a teenage daughter to somehow fill the void. And I can't say it was a train wreck. It wasn't all bad. It wasn't all good, but it wasn't realistic. So what's the gift in all of that? I think the truth of the matter is we often operate from a place of some sort of undiscussed expectation. And although I did try to set the stage of what I envisioned for this trip, and she tried to say yes, the pull of other teenagers and being a teenager wanting to connect and make friends with other teenagers was far greater than the pull was to hang out with mom. I mean, right now, I'm just not that interesting to my teenage daughter. Right now, what I have to say does not sound too appealing or interesting. Doesn't mean she doesn't like me. It just means I am not a teenage boy or a teenage girl that can banter with her in the same way. In fact, 9 times out of 10, when I'm trying to communicate, I feel like we're speaking two completely different languages. I don't even understand a lot of the different terminologies that the teens are using. Maybe you do. I'd be curious. I really should study it on some level, except it's moving so much faster and different than anything that I've experienced, probably because of social media. So what do you do when you recognize that you had these silent expectations that weren't discussed, weren't explained, weren't agreed to? What do you do? Where do you go from there? Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to pause and you have to notice. Notice what's playing out under the current. What is the void that you're trying to fill? Is it that you're trying to fill some love and connection? And if you are trying to fill love and connection and fill the void for love and connection, Notice, where are you putting your energy? Are you putting your energy outside of yourself and looking for the outside world to fill the inside world? I confess, I did. Or are you already filled up where you have something to give in overflow? The more I try to accommodate my daughter's schedule, and the more I tried to be the buddy to please, and the more I attempted to be like the Gilmore Girls or connected in that way, the less connected I ended up feeling to myself, and I ended up feeling towards my daughter. So what can we learn from this? I want you to think about a situation that maybe you had unrealistic expectations. Maybe you were looking for somebody else to fill a void in you. And rather than really reconnecting with yourself, and how do you do that? First and foremost, if you get into nature and you just sit with nature. You know, nature doesn't ask for much from us. I mean, certainly it asks us to be kind to it, to take care of it, to let it grow, let it evolve, let it blossom. But really, if we just go sit in nature, just go sit. For me, my favorite parts of my trip were just taking long walks along the ocean, hearing the ocean coming in and out, feeling the sand beneath my feet, allowing myself to ground as I'm walking barefoot in the sand. Think about it. When you are just in silence, walking along any beach, if you're a beach person, notice the sounds you're hearing with the birds, the seagulls. Maybe you notice a dolphin or two in the water. And if it's not too cold, you might see some young little kid playing in the water, and you can think back to when your kids were little if you have grown-up kids. Every time I see a little kid, I'm always like delighted. How cute they are, how free they are. And when I see those little kids just being so free in all of their moods and their emotions, and I think to myself, wow, they can feel one emotion and then quickly move to another one so effortlessly. It's like it's forgotten. As adults, we don't always move through them quite as fast because more often than not, we're trying to push them down and not feel what we're feeling. I was feeling empty. I was feeling lonely. I was feeling disconnected from myself. So as you connect with nature, what it does is it starts filling you up with beautiful, beautiful energy that comes in through the bottom of your feet, comes in through the top of your crown, your top of your head. And those two energies meet in the middle, creating this wonderful, beautiful polarity between the earth and the sun. Fills you up with beautiful energy. You don't even have to ask for it. It's just this natural chemical reaction that happens. And when you pause and you just breathe in the air, whether it's the ocean air, if you're somebody that likes mountains, then you might be in the mountains. You might be walking through the trees, walking through paths, listening to the rustling of leaves. Nature doesn't disappoint. Even the worst day, a rainy day, you can know that cold, rainy day is there giving you two opportunities. One opportunity might be an opportunity to rest inside because you don't feel like you have to go outside and run errands or work harder than necessary. Or a snowy day might get you snowed in and you think, do I really need to go out in that? It gives you an opportunity to rest, to slow down. And when we slow down, we breathe deeper. And when we breathe, we start filling ourselves up with the beautiful air and oxygen. And we breathe out anything that we no longer need that doesn't serve us. So nature invites us to slow down, to breathe, to open our lungs. It also reminds us that, the birds don't want for anything. The animals don't want for anything. They find what they need as they need it from one day to the next. They're not looking too far in the future. They're not looking in the past. They're right there in the present moment, present time consciousness. So being out in nature and really stepping back into the presence of nature, totally fully observing nature. And if you haven't really been outside much because you've been doing too much, now that the weather is getting nicer here in the Midwest, get outside and pop your shoes off. One of the best things you can do to reconnect with the earth and to reconnect with yourself is to walk barefoot in the grass, barefoot on the sand if you're near sand, or just simply to sit. Just sit and be still. I was walking the other day after a long day, and we were taking a nice power walk, and we were talking, and all of a sudden I thought, God, I don't want to move my body. I just want to be. I just want to sit. So we just sat on the side of the path and just watched as the sun was setting and the birds were flying and the sky was shifting and changing. And just imagine taking the time to breathe that in and to notice the changing of the colors in the sky as we go from sunlight to nighttime. If you're in an area that has stars that you can see easily, just allowing yourself to be present with it, to connect into it, to see it, to observe it. Even just sitting on the grass, I was like, I don't feel like taking my shoes off, but I'm just going to ground through my root chakra, which is at the base, right at the base of the groin, going down into the earth. I'm just going to root in and allow that energy to just fill me up. Taking the time to be present with yourself and to fill yourself up with the simple things in life, not looking to somebody else to do the filling for you. And allowing yourself time just to breathe, to focus on your breath. And right now, just go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. And you can count to 6. Let's just count to 6. As you're breathing in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and hold it. 2, 1, and breathing out. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And go ahead and take another breath. And each time you breathe in, I want you to imagine you are just bringing in fresh energy into your lungs, filling up your lungs, filling up all of your organs with this beautiful fresh air, allowing that air to just permeate through your entire body, cleansing and clearing anything that does not serve you. And when you breathe out, recognizing that you're releasing expectations, that you're recentering and refocusing on you. Allowing yourself just to tune in to this present moment where you just need to breathe. Nothing you have to do, nothing you have to be for anyone else. No one you have to please. You just have to be. And as you're breathing in and out, just enjoying for the first moment that you've slowed down, you've taken a pause. You've taken a pause to listen. And so often we get in our heads, like I got in my heads, I thought I'm going to be the Gilmore Girls and I'm not. And so rather than being in your head, just slipping into your heart and connecting to your heart and asking your heart with your hands on your heart. And if you're driving, just put one hand on your heart and just ask your heart. Rather than feeling empty or unfulfilled or frustrated or angry, whatever it is that you're going through right now, this is an opportunity that you can change your state and your mood by breathing, by connecting to your heart. So often we want to go into our head and we want to solve things from our head. One of my friends reminded me how so often we go straight to the strategy. My strategy was I'm going to go on a girls' trip with my daughter. We go to the strategy. Then we go to, where do we go next? Oh, I forgot what I was saying. So often we go So often we like to start with the strategy. My strategy was I was going to set the intention that we were going to be on a girls' trip. We were going to be like two friends when we're really not. We're still mother-daughter, and my daughter's not quite ready to be buddies. And quite frankly, I still have a job to do as the mom, so I'm technically not ready either. But I immediately, when I was in my head in a state of reaction, which is not a good place to make choices and decisions, I quickly went to the strategy of how this is going to happen. I created a story, and then I ended up getting how I felt, my state, which was pretty low. Rather than filling myself up with taking some deep breaths, being with nature, filling myself up, asking myself from my heart, what would you choose to be in this moment in time? How would you choose to feel? What would make you feel happy? And in that moment, all I wanted to feel was just love and connection. And the person I needed to love and connect with was me. And so claiming, I am love and connection. Just claiming it. I am love and connection. I am love and connection. And if you take your middle fingers, and if you're driving, that's fine. Take your middle fingers. And I want you to find a little point right in the center of your chest, right between your nipple line where it was when you were a toddler. And just put your middle finger and maybe your index finger right in the middle of your chest and just hold it. This is actually an acupressure point called Central 17. And it's called the Sea of Tranquility. And when you place your hands there, just breathe. Some of you might notice a pulsing. Some of you might notice some warmth. And if you keep holding it for a while, you're actually connecting to this point, the Sea of Tranquility point, Central 17. It's right on the meridian line that runs up the course of your body to the bottom of your mouth. And when this particular energy channel is nice and running smoothly and closed, it creates this beautiful energy that goes out into your auric field all around you, creates beautiful figure eights, connects to all the other energy systems in your body, helps you feel this sense of security, maybe calmness, certainty. And so as you're connecting with yourself, just by holding two fingers on this one acupressure point, notice if your body calms down. Notice if you relax. Notice if your shoulders drop. You might notice that your thoughts get clearer. You might notice that your thoughts stop and you relax your thinking. That old stinking thinking. And just connecting with yourself and asking yourself, what's one thing you can do for yourself today to fill yourself up? Knowing it's never about the other person, that you get to fill yourself up first, rather than being on a crazy spring break with unrealistic expectations or a crazy social outing or marketing event or networking event, whatever it is for you. Here in the stillness of just holding this one point on your body. And if you're not driving and you have a second hand free, just take a minute and put your other middle finger from your other hand in those same points and just hold it there and breathe. Nothing you have to do, nothing you have to be. simply holding Central 17, your sea of tranquility. And then I want to invite you to just go ahead and put your hand on your forehead. And as you put your hand on your forehead, take a nice deep breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Here on the forehead, you've heard me talk about it before in an earlier episode, are the neurovascular points. They're also called the oh my God points. Because so often when we are stressed, intuitively, we lift our hands to our forehead and we'll hold our hand on our forehead for just a moment. And really, if you take the time to hold it just a little bit more like 3 to 5 minutes, you'll notice that, your hand might be getting warmer. Your thinking might be getting clearer. If you've got foggy brain, it might be relaxing and calming. You might notice that it was never about the other person after all, that it was just you needing to settle your nervous system down, an opportunity to relax and let go. And if you have someone that has trouble sleeping at night or getting to sleep, you can do the same thing to fall asleep in the evening. Or if you're having a difficult conversation with a loved one or a coworker, putting your hands on your forehead will bring the blood flow back to your head. Because when we're under stress, the first thing that happens is that blood flow goes straight down to your arms, your legs, your heart, and it prepares you to make that ultimate decision. Am I going to run? Am I going to fight? It's that fight, flight, freeze determination. And while you hold your hand on your head and you take those calming deep breaths and you think about being in nature, or you actually step out into nature in your bare feet and you re-ground into the knowing that to be filled up, you just have to step out into nature and be present with your breath, with your own energy field. Nothing you have to do or be. You just have to allow yourself that moment of presence. So wherever you are today, check in with yourself. Are your expectations realistic? Can you let them go for another possibility of simply relying on your own heart to guide you into something new, something fresh? And maybe you might be taking a trip by yourself. Have a great day. This is Kelly Getz, wishing you infinite love and gratitude.